In my research paper for the class Searching for Information, I was looking to find out if educational screen time has the same negative effect as recreational screen time in child development. This was an interesting topic to me because I have young children who tend to spend too much time, in my opinion, in front of their electronic devices. I wanted to know if I was allowing them to use these devices too often after school when they may have already been on computers, iPads, or electronic devices, maybe whiteboards at school throughout the day as well. Luckily, this research was fairly easy to do because it is such a common topic of discussion and something that is so prevalent these days, being that we are in the heart of the information age. The use of electronic devices are so intuitive now that any child, especially from early on as a toddler, can pick them up and learn how to use them quickly. They can end up being able to use it in excess if a parent is willing to let it be somewhat of a babysitter, so to speak. In my research, I use Google Scholar a lot, as well as the Metro State Library databases, and I was able to come up with scholarly journals, newspaper articles, and books fairly easily. The majority of my research came from the Journal of Experimental Child Psychology, the Mayo Clinic, the Journal of Early Childhood Literacy, and the American Academy of Pediatrics. One very interesting thing that I learned and had to consider in my research was a YouTube video that I came across by a guy named Jay Andrews. He covered the importance of balancing screen time for kids and that it's important to consider active versus passive screen time. And Andrews explains the need for it to be considered, and he goes as far to suggest that a type of video game that your child could be playing might have some creative mode or something like Minecraft. And also that coding is a popular thing that is embedded into a lot of these popular video games. And he claimed that it's a skill that can prove to be useful in today's future kids. Or kids' futures, sorry. I think that the topic relates well to this course, especially when you talk about literacy and reading and the amount of times kids need to be spending actually reading books. And this also relates to when we talked about using libraries and being able to use electronic resources accurately. Should that be considered screen time in children? I think it's also interesting to consider the digital divide as far as education goes and how different the results of some of these research studies that I came across can be based on where these kids are in the world. Ultimately, through my research, I've concluded that any screen time, whether it is educational or recreational, needs to be considered when limiting children to that recommended 2 hours per day. I don't think this is solely for the effect that the usage time has on cognitive development, nor the sedentary time in front of a computer and the obesity implications, but it also leaves room for the child's life and social and intimate parental connection needed for proper behavioral and emotional development. It was overall a very satisfying assignment, and I was able to draw some conclusions that I can apply in my own child's life and my parenting abilities. Thank you.